Good evening. I am Kenny Tan, and I'm pleased here to see so many folks joining us from the chat room. Okay, I see a bunch of people. I got Henry, and I got Wayne, and I got Maria, Howard, Kevin, Johnny, Jennifer, Justin, Carrie, Yingmei, Lily Garapova, Libby Gong, and some folks Andrew, Alec, okay, all of you guys are here. In case I miss your name, I apologize because there's just so many people in attendance, and I certainly appreciate you coming out to support us tonight. Okay, uh, tonight we have simulcast to the Real Biz Academy. Nick, thank you, welcome, and to the Facebook, my Facebook live stream platform, to my Chinese channel on YouTube. 建有地产贷款培训. And tonight we're going to bring to you Southern California's market update. That's July 2021. A lot of people are anxious to know the answers to tonight's questions. There are 3 questions to be answered tonight. Is the market slowing down in Southern California? First question. Second question is, if it is or it isn't, are there any signs that it's slowing down? And what are the signs we should be looking for when we see a market slowing down? Okay. Tonight there are 2 presenters, myself being one of them. And the second presenter is Jean Riley. She is a very experienced real estate agent in the San Diego area. Now, Jean Riley is going to answer those questions regarding San Diego market. I have a feeling that we'll probably reach a similar conclusion tonight. Okay, based on the data that I have reviewed this afternoon. Now, I will let Jean Riley go first, and then I go second. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me about it or ask Jean Riley about it, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. All right, Jean, I'll put you first. So why don't we go ahead and let you start.
Sure. So Kenny, I have sent you the PDF file. By any chance, I know it was pretty late, but
I
did you?
got it. I got it.
Okay,
I'm just gonna
perfect.
wait for the right moment. You tell me to hit it, I'll put it on the screen.
Okay, sounds great. So the questions Kenny posed here, it's the market slowing down. Believe me or not, this question I got asked every single day by everybody I know, even by my neighbors. They were like, "Gee, what's going on with the market?" So, personally, I would say it's probably slowing down a little bit, but I still see a lot of activities. And I think I have 3 or 4 escrow closing this month. And then I just opened 3 new escrow. The new escrows are listing escrow, so I can definitely share with you from the listing side secrets this time. See, because I
Jean, may
can
I
see
stop you
how.
for a moment? I'm kind of curious.
Sure.
I'm sure a lot of people in the audience are curious too. As of today, for
Mhm.
2021, how many deals have you closed, roughly?
I think I lost track. 10 to 15, one of those numbers.
Okay,
I
all
don't
right,
know.
you.
But
Okay,
I think
so
my numbers are picking up. So 3 new escrow for listing, and I think I have maybe 6 more listing coming up. So it's going to be crazy. And then I have some sellers are doing 1031 exchange. So it's changing expensive property to smaller property. So I do anticipate my second portion of the 2021 is going to be much more busier than
I think
the first
so.
half.
Sounds like you
Yeah.
got a stronger pipeline in the second half of the year, so we look forward to a strong year for you. Uh, are you ready to put on the slides?
Sure, we can go ahead and put on the slides, and I can talk through the slides and maybe just share what with my personal examples. So the first slide is the
All right, let me
average.
go ahead and put it on first because I got the
Sure.
slide late, so I'm going to put it on right now. Okay,
Okay, no
don't
worries.
worry, you'll need to take a second. All right, the slide's on
Okay.
the screen. All right, go ahead.
So the first slide is the average sales price, and I think when buyers ask me whether there was any relief in terms of from the buyer side, is the pricing slowing down? I always like to look at the historical data. So this is the past 10 years in San Diego County, and all the data that I'm presenting tonight are single family detached home non-distress. So traditional sale, it does not include foreclosure or short sale. And I think, just because that way you can keep that friend of mind when you are looking at the numbers. As you could see, the price has gone up quite a bit. Last year and this year, there was a big jump. It's almost a straight line. It's pretty crazy. So the average sales price right now in San Diego is almost $1.2 million. Can you believe that? I couldn't believe that. It's like average price is 1.2. So
Yeah, sounds like the Bay Area. The Bay Area has gone up a lot more, but Bay Area was like average. I think a few months ago, I think it was like 6 months ago, we were
mhm.
just talking about the average price in the Bay Area is at least $1 million. So right now, the average price in San Diego is at least $1 million.
Yeah, 1.176. So has increased by 35%, the same time as last year. And
Oh,
that is going to be kind of put a lot of people out of their budget. But I also want to kind of share a little bit insight. The average price obviously is an average. So you take the highest and you average with maybe the lowest and you came up with a number, right? So the reason the average price went up quite a bit is because a lot of multi-million dollars home was sold. So in the past, like for example, 3 million, $5 million home, those usually take a little longer to sell. Right now, it's also flying off the shelf. It sell pretty fast, so the number definitely got pulled up by a lot for because those expensive luxury home. There's another slide later on. We will see the median price, and I think that will give us a little bit better indications. But this from these pictures, I really want to point out to you is again, people always ask me, should I wait to buy next year? Maybe the price will come down next year. If you look at this chart, you will see, yeah, the price do come down, but then they do go up. So in the long run, in 10 years, you will see it's still a pretty straight line. And this is what I always tell my client, and including myself. If you are buying a primary home to live, there's never a bad time to buy. And the reason being, if you don't buy, you are renting, right? So you have opportunity costs. You are paying rent to your landlord, and the landlord are using that to pay their mortgages. I actually have met buyers at the open house. There was one guy told me he already spent $150,000 on rent. I'm like $150,000. That could be a down payment for someone. But the thing is, if you have a chance, I would say if you are buying for your primary home, go ahead, jump in and buy, even if you need to pay mortgage insurance, because the cost of the mortgage insurance could be maybe $100, maybe to the most $200 or so, a month. But that is for me that's what I see as a cost of doing business, as a cost of owning your home, your primary home. And later on, you can actually talk to the mortgage company, have them remove the mortgage insurance as long as you have 20% of equity. So you don't pay that forever. That's why, I always encourage my client to buy if they are buying a primary home. So if we could see the next slide, the next slide is talking about the average active market time. this is another indications on how hot the market is. So right now, the average market time is only 18 days. Um, Typically, as in the past, you can see 10 years ago, oh my God, it's like 80 days. It's a night and day differences. So the market is very, very strong. I don't see it slowing down quite yet, maybe slightly, but not quite yet. The average market day is 18 days. Typically for my listing, um, I usually get my listing into escrow about 10 days or less. So I always try to make sure, don't have my house sitting on the market too long. And this is the analogies I always explain to my seller. If you have the house on the market for too long, selling houses is like a selling fresh produce. You are selling fresh vegetable, fruit, or even meat, dairies. You don't want to have it to be on shelf too long, otherwise it goes spoil. And that's the same thing as house. When you get on the house, when you get on market, it's very fresh. Everybody got so excited they want to see. But the longer the house sit on the market, the harder it is to get your full asking price. Anyway, so I always tell my seller, let's push really, really hard and let's see whether we can get the price we wanted. So the next slide is looking at the active listing. This is another indication to see how hot the market is, because market price is determined by supply and demand. So the active listing is our supply. Supplies has actually decreased by 42% since last year. So we only have a little over 2,000 listing right now, almost 2,200, but that's still almost historical low right now. And that's why San Diego price is still at the top, is not coming down. I have a lot of people ask me, so how about forbearance? Once the evictions moratorium has expire, whether those houses will be on the market, to be foreclosed or not. I would say that probably chance is very, very slow, because I think there's like research done out there. The people who are doing forbearance, they still have a lot of equity. So why would someone, try to, why would someone want to lose their equity if they can sell on the market, and then don't get foreclosed? So I say, if you are waiting for foreclosure to come to the market, and like that might take a little longer, and I don't even know there will be a lot of rush of foreclosure now. So again, going back to my original saying, if you are buying a primary home, don't wait. This is actually a saying, it's something, I think, I forget who say this. Might be Warren Buffett or might be someone else famous, but I don't remember the person who said that. But basically, it just says, buy real estate and wait, but don't wait to buy real estate. So you buy and then let the time to become your friends. If you keep the house for 10 years or more, the risk of owning a home is so small, and typically the house will appreciate, already. So if we look at the next slides, next slide is the median sales price. This is the one I was trying to say. If you compare to the first slides I have shown, the average sales price is 1.2, but the median sales price is 875. So that's why $1.2 million is definitely what's the word? Influenced by the multi-million dollar luxury sale. So the median sale is the numbers that dividing 50% of the houses, the high upper half and the lower half. So $875,000. That's still a lot of money. I still remember the day, like San Diego median sales price was $500,000. Right now it's already $875,000. And you can see the line is still pretty straight, and it has a big jump, last year, this year. So I have some people last year, they were like, oh, June, the price is going to come down. I'm going to wait for another year before I buy. they probably regret that they didn't buy because otherwise they will already make, yeah, like Kenny, like 30% equity, right? But
Yeah, of course.
again, hindsight is 2020. I
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up, because whatever happened, it already happened, right? I would say, my personal philosophy is if I have the money, if I can borrow the mortgages and I think that house has potential, I never worry about the 10, 20, or even 50,000 or even $100,000 because at the end of the day, it's such a small numbers. So I'll give you my personal example. So in 2012, we bought a condo. I think it was $200,000. And at that time, there were a lot of foreclosures and then short sale property. So this was a short sale property. And I remember specifically the listing agent or the seller only want cash deal. They don't want someone with loans. And my husband and I, we obviously don't have that much cash. But what we have is our primary home's equity. So we have equity line of credit, and we literally just use the equity line of credit to purchase that condo. We bought it for $200,000. And then a few years later, I actually learned one of my clients, after I started doing real estate. In 2012, I didn't buy and sell real estate. So I didn't really know anything too much about real estate. I just know I like that condo and I know his potential. So anyhow, a few years later, I recently just talked to one of my clients, and she also bought a condo in the same community as the condo we bought in 2012. She has exactly the same floor plan. It was 2 bedroom, 2 baths, 927 square feet. Everything's exactly the same. She only paid $180,000. So if you look at my example, I actually quote unquote overpay $20,000. That's like 10%, right? For a lot of people, they probably won't buy it because especially in 2012, they probably won't buy it. But for me, I was like, it's not a big deal. I know the real estate will appreciate. So anyhow, fast forward 2021, right? 10 years later, the same condo is more than $500,000. So I will say we overpaid $20,000 to make $300,000.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
summary of the story. So that's why I'm saying I usually don't worry about the small numbers. That's just how I am, and understand sometimes buyers are very nervous. They were, well, this is not your money. That's why you took it so lightly. Well, I didn't. I was a buyer, right? I overpaid $20,000, but 10 years later, I make $300,000. So
Okay.
anyhow, don't let those numbers scare you. And I still think at the end of the day, real estate is very safe. If you calculate that you could afford the mortgages. See, for me, I didn't have quote unquote mortgages, but I have a line of credit. So I put a mortgage on my primary home. And $200,000 at that time, the equity line of credit was so low. I think it was only 1.99%. And the highest I ever paid, so it fluctuates. The highest interest I have ever paid for the equity line of credit, I believe, might be 3%. But right now it came down to, I think, 2.75 now. So anyway, one of my clients, I was sharing with her this example. So if you do real estate investing, you probably heard there's an acronym called BRRRR. It's BRRRR with 4R. So it just means buy, renovate, rent, and then refinance, and then repeat. So this is kind of what I did. We bought that condo, we renovated, and then we obviously have the equity line credit, use that, and then I actually pay off so I can pull out more money out. So anyhow, if you know how to do real estate, the biggest word is leverages. if you want to buy $1 million home, you don't need to have $1 million cash. If you can get the mortgages, you only need, most people, 20% down. So that's why real estate is a good investment tool because of the leverages. So Kenny, I think the next slide is
Yep.
the average price per square foot. So this is the one, I don't think I ever showed this one, but I just kind of want to see it, because you can see it's even without the crazy increases for this year and last year, in the past, San Diego real estate still do pretty well, right? It's a pretty good numbers. So right now it's $549 per square foot, increase more than 30% compared to last year. So I recently, I think it was just last week, one of my clients asked me, she's like, Jean, do you know how much our house is worth now? And I say, I don't know. I think you bought it earlier this year, January, for almost 1.2. And I was like, maybe 1.3, 1.4. She's like, no, it was more than $1.5 million now. So within this year, less than 6 months, their equity increased by $300,000. That's amazing, right? But also it's a little bit nerve wracking for buyer who hesitated and who didn't buy, because all of a sudden the same house is $300,000 more. So that's the things that's go back to the saying. I mean, hindsight is 2020. You never know, but at the same time, I still believe if the buyer is ready and they can borrow the money or they have the cash, I don't think that's a bad time to buy, because what are you going to do with the money? If you are not investing, you are losing money. That way, because the money have depreciated so much, right? Anyway, so Kenny, if we look at the next slide talk about new listing. This slide is going to tell you whether there's any relief inside for buyers. Because if we have more new listing, then perhaps the buyer don't need to fight so hard to get the house they wanted. So the new listing did increase slightly, tiny little bit over the same time last year by 5%. 5% is almost nothing. But right now we have less than 3,000 new listing. If you look at the historical data, it's still pretty low. Compared to the past. Typically, we should have about 3,500 new listing. Right now, we only have less than that. But this graph, the reason I also want to show this graph is usually seller or even buyer will ask me, Jean, when is a good time to buy? During which months of the year? Like, is it better if I put my house on the market in January 1st? Or is it better if I put the house on the market in April or something like that? So real estate is seasonal. I don't know about other city, but in San Diego, it's definitely seasonal. You will see the listing start picking up, probably starting in April. And then after school started, it starts dropping off. And then by right before December till the January the next year, the inventory will reduce a lot. So if you are a buyer and you have a fear of not seeing enough home, don't try to buy it in the winter time, because you're not going to quote unquote not see enough houses. But see, for me, we have bought multiple homes, and I think I look back, we have bought at different months of the year. In fact, our primary home was closed the day, I think it was closed December 25th, Christmas Day. or maybe the day after, forget. So anyhow, it was Christmas. And usually this is what people say. If the sellers are listing their home during the holiday, they are more motivated. So the buyer might have a little bit more leverages there if you are buying in the winter time, because typically most people don't like to sell during holiday, And that's why, that's another thing. Artificially, you're going to see during the winter time, San Diego's average price actually reduce just because a lot of wealthy people, they don't want to put their home on the market to sell because of holiday. They want to enjoy their beautiful home with their friends and family. And that's why you artificially will see the price reduce. It doesn't mean the market crashes or anything. It's a seasonal things. So anyway, that's pretty much the slide I have. And so can you we can do I can do a little bit summary after yours
Of
presentation,
course,
but that's
we'll
pretty
have a
much what
little
I have.
discussion. We'll have a little discussion after my
Sure,
presentation.
sure.
Okay, mine will be a short one as well, but
Okay.
I hopefully I present some insights for people who ask those questions. All right, it's my turn. It's my first time doing a market update. Okay, uh, I, from a broker's point of view, will do a bigger overview of the entire market in Greater Los Angeles. So thank you for showing up for support. Okay, if I make a mistake and falter, forgive me. This is my first time. Okay, all right. Let's look at some chart. All right, this is my chart. Okay, I actually got this from InfoSpark. Those of you that are familiar with InfoSpark, that's where you get all your data. Now, the first one shows new listings. This is for the entire MLS. This is the big picture, CRMLS. And the chart that I give you actually starts from 2008. So you can see which way the market has gone in the past 13 years. 2008, if you look at 2008, there was a lot of activity, okay, new listings, a bunch of them. Well, 2008, we had the foreclosure crisis. And then there were less and less because as you're going to see less and less toward 2010 because at that time we have that Obama rescue program that helped homeowners avoid foreclosure. There were less and less properties because the government intervention. And then starting from 2010, okay, now the new listings picked up, but then we reached the bottom again. Okay, that was a very low point, and since then the activities has been picking up. I remember I bought my home in Brisbane at the bottom, right around here. Of course, that was a great time. So then the market picked up again, and there were a lot of listings, new listing, and then it kind of flattened out a little bit. Okay, and then it picks up again, and then it went to the bottom, and now we're seeing more listings because this point right here, I think that was during the pandemic back in April of 2020. Now it's picking up again, new listings, but it's still way below, uh, what we would like to see. All right, let's look at the next chart. This is the median sale price. If you ask me, is the market slowing down? Look at which way the curve is curving. It's almost like a straight line up. If you ask me, will the market slow down in 2021? My answer is no, because it's like a train, you know. Once it gets going for a little bit longer, even if you step on the brake. Even if you step on the brake now, it's not going to slow down. So for those buyers, they are waiting for the markets to slow down and hop in. I would say to you that you're probably going to regret because the market is not going to slow down. Well, depending on how you define slowing down. if you're talking about the prices slowing down, I frankly don't see any signs at all that you're going to see the prices slowing down. So if you need a home to buy, to live in, now is a good time. Because what's going to happen is if you're going to wait until the prices start to come down and enter, well, the problem is even if prices come down, it will not come down to the same level that it is today. Okay, history tells us that unless there is a total collapse in the economy, which we are not seeing. Another thing, another reason the prices are not going to slow down is because inflation hasn't slowed down yet. We kept feeling inflation. You go to McDonald's on a drive-through, buy a what do you call that, Big Mac meal or whatever. You're paying like $10 just on that drive-through. Every time I go, it seems that every time I do the drive-through, the prices go up. So I think we're not going to see any slowing down for sure, not in 2021, and not even in the first part of 2022. I would venture to say that. Okay. Now, if the definition of slowing down means the price appreciation is slowing down, okay, that is a different definition of slowing down. Right now, we don't even see that. Okay, so if you're a buyer, you need a home to stay, to live in. What are you waiting for? Because the longer you wait, the more disappointment you're going to have. Interest rate is pretty low at the moment. And maybe by the time the prices start to come down, interest rate has gone up so much and the purchase price, hopefully your pay will rise along with the home prices. If your pay can't keep up with the appreciation, you will be regretting even more. And I bet that the labor cost is going to skyrocket. And that's another reason why I think we have to anticipate that it's going to happen. Don't wait. We have to go outside, go overseas and get cheaper labor so we can be more competitive. All right, let's look at the next slide. So that's the median sale price. Pretty scary curve for buyers anyway. But if you're a buyer, you're buying it now, it's not scary because you would have the appreciation. Look at this one. This is what? Median days on the market. When we had that 2008, when we had that financial tsunami, okay, foreclosure crisis. The average, the median days on the market was close to 80 days back then. Of course, this is seasonal, and you're gonna see, even if it's seasonal, you're gonna see it's like a pendulum, but it is trending downwards, right? And look at the median days on the market today. Oh my God, how many days is this? I'm looking at about 10 days. It's at the bottom of the curve. This is for the whole CRMLS. So if your homes are on the market for longer than 10 days, you're above the median days on the market. Homes should sell in this market in about 10 days. So what does that tell you? Are you better off being a buyer's agent or a seller's agent? The answer is very clear. Why do you want to insist on being a buyer's agent when you could be doing much better as a listing agent? Think about that. All right, now let's look at the inventory month supply. Back in 2008, when we had that bad financial time, days on the market was what? was close to 170 days on the market. Oh, that's months. Sorry, but this is inventory month supply. You're looking at about 17 and a half months supply. Back in 2008, it seems like back in those days, you put a property on the market, nobody wants it. Okay, but right now it's a different story. This thing is trending down. Okay, right now the month supply in the greater Los Angeles area, it's about 2.5. Okay, they say the normal should be 6 months, but we're not even close to the normal. When are we going to go back to a normal? Who knows? It could be a few years before we go back to the normal. Okay. This one is a median price per square foot, so it just goes to show you that the entire Greater Los Angeles area, that covers the entire CRMLS. As you know, CRMLS covers from the north, from the LA County, all the way to Orange County on the south side, and then the west side from Santa Monica all the way to San Bernardino and Riverside County. And the median price per square foot, how much is that? Median price per square foot. That's a little bit over. I mean, you're talking about over $400 per square foot already. Okay. And, if you buy a 1,500 square feet home, easily costs you about 600,000 right now. Okay. Now, 600,000, you can 600,000, you could probably get a 2,000 square feet home in Sacramento area like Roseville. For 600,000, you get 2,000 square feet with some backyard. And this one here, 600,000 in Eastville, I don't know. Maybe you can't even get a nice single family home in Eastville anymore. 600,000. Those of you that specialize in Eastville, share with me what kind of home can you get for 600,000 in Eastville? Okay, definitely it's still trending up, and it shows no sign of slowing down at the moment. Next one. Now this chart actually shows 4 different curves, one for each major county in the greater Los Angeles area. The blue one is actually the Orange County curve, followed by LA County, and followed by San Bernardino County, and followed by Riverside County. At the rate the prices are going, more and more people are moving into Riverside County because they can't afford to live in LA County. Never mind about Orange County, which is more expensive than LA County. And, if you can't afford in San Bernardino, maybe you can afford in Riverside County. But they all have the same shape, okay? The median sales price is trending upwards still. No sign of slowing down yet. All right, so let's see this is the market overview for Orange County. Let me go ahead and enlarge this one so you can see it. Hopefully you guys can see the numbers better than I can. All right. So if you're comparing year to date in Orange County, single family residents, the new listing only went up a little bit from June of 2020 to June of 2021, not very much. So that's not very good news for the buyers. And then you see that the pending sales went down. What does it tell you? It tells you that properties are getting sold real fast. If you look at the closed sales went up by 64.6%. That's a big number from June of last year. So properties are getting sold real fast. Days on the market, it went from 38 days to 17 days. So the days on the market is getting shorter and shorter. So you should be able, if you can get a listing, well, let's see who has something to say. Okay, Lily has something to say. Lily, oh, okay, well, Jin did a good job there, no doubt. And let's see, I got Kathleen here. All right, I'm not done yet, Kathleen. I'm still talking. Median sale price went up a lot. Well, you said that earlier. In San Diego, the median sale price is about 1.2. This Orange County is not too far behind. It's about 1.1. It went up by 29% in about a year. So whoever that bought home in last year did really well. Average sales price, that number two went up. It's almost like 37%. So that is a lot. Okay. And percentage of list price received is about 102.9, went up a little bit. So we don't have to do a lot of overbid in Orange County. Okay, much different from the Bay Area. All right, look a little bit on the condo side. This is a condo sale for the entire Orange County. Okay, let me move it up and enlarge it so you can see it. All right, condo and townhouses. New listing went down, so less listings for condo. Pending sales went out a lot, and then the closed sales actually went up a lot. So 55.6%. Days on the market, same story. It's down to about 15. So condo market is just as hot as the single family residence market in Orange County. Okay. So condo is doing well because some people are being priced out of the single family residence already. Okay. All right. Median sale price went up, not as much as the single family residence though. I learned about this many years ago. You know, if you have the same amount of money, if you can afford to move into a single family residence, you probably will be better off buying a single family residence than a condo because single family residence, you might be buying into an older home and have to spend some money to renovate it so you can live comfortably versus buying a newer condo. I think in terms of price appreciation, single family residents tend to do better. You see, the median sale price went up by a lot for single family residents, 29%. Condo only went up by 13.8%, so that's not very much. So but I think historically, condo doesn't do as well as single family residence. Okay, now let's look at the not much to say on the curve here. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. So this is the next slide. It's probably the LA County. Let's see. Is this the LA County? LA County. LA County single family. Days on the market too went down from 35 to 19 quite significantly. And the median sale price, hey, you can still buy a house for less than $1 million in LA County. 915,000. The appreciation was 28.9. So probably did very well if you bought about a year ago. Average sales price, it's about 1.4 because of the more expensive homes being sold. So you get a feeling that uh, higher end homes are selling quite well in LA County as well. Okay, the percent of this price received is only 104.8. Okay, so unlike the Bay Area where you might be getting 110, LA and Orange County, 104.8, not too bad. So not a lot of overbid there. Inventory of homes for sale, it went down by 30% in LA County for the single family residence. Month supply went from 3.2 to 1.8, so it's getting actually tighter and tighter. On the condo side, the month supply went down from 3.4 to 2, so still pretty significant. Condo appreciation did well in LA County compared to Orange County. It's about 24.4%. Sales price, average sales price also went up. Okay, so looks like the two markets are really, really hot here in Greater Los Angeles. So that's all the slide presentation that I have for tonight. And it's time for discussion with Jean Riley. Let me go back with Jean Riley here. Hello,
Okay.
Jean, we're back. Let's
Hi.
do a little bit of a discussion. First,
Sure.
let me ask you some questions about San Diego.
Mhm.
I know a lot of buyers have been asking. Okay, now today I had a buyer who has about $600,000. He asked
Okay.
me, actually, it's my for my own. I'll answer that question first and then I
Sure.
ask you a question. The question that was posed to me is this: if I have 600,000, should I buy in Folsom or Roseville or in Southern California in Eastville area? Okay, my answer to him is I think you will probably, for the same price, you probably get a bigger home in Roseville or Folsom than you do in Eastville because homes are more expensive in Eastville compared to Roseville and Folsom. School district wise, both have excellent school district, 8 or 9. Okay, so I advise this buyer to just go ahead and buy in Roseville or Folsom. In Eastville, is still pretty hot. I don't know if he can find the home that he wants. Now in San Diego,
Mhm.
how is the condo market compared to the single family residence? Is condo picking up because buyers are being priced out of the single family market?
Well, I think for me, the buyer I'm working with, most of them are not really picking between condo or home. If they are, like, for example, usually they are buying because their income and then also their family structures. If they have little kids and they usually want school district, they want yard, so we will go out to see some houses. Especially if had little ones, they don't want to carry up the kids up to 3 flight of stairs. Like a lot of new homes right now, like Nana share home or even California West, the one they are building in 3 roofs in Sorrento Mesa. The 3 stories townhome typically only work for the younger people. When people get older, they don't want to go up the stairs, or if they have little ones, they don't want to carry the baby and go up 3 flight of stairs because it's very tiring. And so I think my buyers, I'm very blessed and very lucky. I do work with a lot of buyers who are not forced to choose between condos, townhouses, and house because of price. I think they are buying to fulfill their lifestyle. So like today, I went to show a home. That home is, let me think, list for almost $1 million. And then before I went there, I checked in with the listing agents. And so I tried to get some inside information before I even went there. So the agent just pretty much say, okay, I'm telling everybody the same number, 1 million to 1.1. So I told my buyer, do you still want to go see it? And they were, well, 1.1 is our max, but we will go see it. Because I always encourage buyer to see it because the thing is, as an agent, if I don't show my buyer home, I will not know what they are looking for. Because a lot of time they don't know what they are looking for. They will tell you one thing, but then when you take them to the home, they were like, no, 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 that's not what I wanted. Or actually, I'm okay with two-story home or things like that. So I think the more you show them home, the better you can understand the buyers and tailor their need. So anyway, I told them I want them to see the home because I think it's very unique. And also the husband's very tall. For Chinese guy, he's from Taiwan. He's actually considering tall. He's about 6 feet. So I didn't realize this, and he had never told me this until I start showing home with lower ceiling. And then he's like, I had claustrophobia. I don't, the ceiling is too low for me. So anyhow, I kept that in mind. And I think that's one thing I can find my buyer home faster because I pay attention to what they told me and also what they didn't tell me because from their reaction you will know. So anyway, I told them this house has an interesting layout, has very tall ceilings. We should go see. So they went. And then that's also when I learned the husband like big backyard because I was like, this house have a big yard, but I don't know you guys like it or not. And the husband said he liked it. So anyhow, I think the reason I want to bring this as an example is they are actually living in a townhouse now, a 3-story townhome. For them, it's not working for them anymore because they have a little babies and they
Mm.
are very frustrated. They were actually not frustrated. They worry about little babies falling down the stairs, crawling and then fall down the stairs. But if using your example, like Kenny, if my buyer told me I have $600,000 cash and I don't want to borrow any money from the bank, what can I do? What can I buy? I can tell them you can buy a 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom condo. It's not even townhouse. It's just condos. Because usually about 500 to 600,000 now. But if you don't care about school district, then you can go out a little bit north. Like yesterday, I show a home. I would love to buy it myself as an investment property. It was a $550,000 3-bedroom single level, pretty big yard with solar and nothing need to be done. I can put it on the market for rent right away, and I can probably get very safely $2,800 a month to $3,000 maybe if I'm lucky. So $550,000 give me $2,800 to $3,000 without any HOA. I think that's a good investment, good return in San Diego. So, and it's actually on a good street. So, anyhow, I think I really don't have a client told me they are picking between townhome and home or condo. I think they usually tell me, Jean, I want to buy a home, and here's my criteria. And then I will go through my consultation with them. I'll try to figure out what's important to them. And some people, like young people, they don't want yard. I have young people told me, Jean, I don't want yard. I want just little
Mm.
tiny, So yeah, that was a long answer, Kenny. Sorry. I
No, no,
usually
no, no.
keep
I
going.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Oh, well, that pretty much concludes our market update tonight. And next week, we're back to our Tuesday, 11 a.m. Training. Next week, I have 4 exciting topics to share with you guys. Next week, Lily Garapova is going to be my guest. Lily is going to share with us how she went from 4 transactions a year in her first year to having completed close to 20 transactions already as of 2021. And we still have 5 good months to go. So I'm sure Lily has a lot of information to share with us. And the second topic that I have is usually on how to win friends and influence people. I really appreciate what I've learned from the book and actually applied it to get listings all over California. As you know, one time I was driving all over California. Just about the only part of California I did not go to is Central California, but everywhere else I've been. Uh, I think if we can learn the tricks to influence people, we can get listing signed in places that you wouldn't think you get listing signed. Okay, so the second thing I'm going to share with you. So the third thing I'm going to share with you is a sky slope fundamental. That's for next week. Sky Slope, I'm getting my TC trained on Sky Slope right now, and I am rediscovering Sky Slope, what it can do and what it can't. So I'll share with you the fundamental. And that way, between now and January 1st, if you have to go into Sky Slope, you know how to navigate around Sky Slope. Okay, I can't remember the fourth topic I'm gonna share with you guys, but I'm sure it's a very exciting topic as well. All right, so that's all, folks, tonight. And if you are interested in next Tuesday's training, well, actually, you don't have a choice. You're supposed to tell me whether you're attending or not attending. Okay, so please go ahead and respond to my invitation. And I'll see you guys back here at 11 a.m. Next Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. See you then.